All right, so good morning. I've got like 10 minutes before we have to go back to clinicals, but describe your clinical experience in mental health throughout the PMHNP program. It has been great. I have not felt like it's undoable, it's stressful. Um, I think the first first clinical was a little stressful just because there wasn't a whole lot of like instruction or someone to ask questions. It's produced about like sending emails to Core Elm and waiting for a response, and then hopefully you do get a response, and then I think that's what made it stressful. So that's I'm offering my help to anybody that I can because it really is not um, a difficult rotation. It just sounds difficult, and then once you learn how to navigate elms and put in your notes, and you know what the instructor wants, like how every instructor has a little bit of a different template. You really I focused on like asking the questions that I really don't understand or that I've tried to research, and I'm like, this, what would I do in practice? So I'd say the experience has been pretty awesome. What are the reasons you have chosen to work with this population, and are they solidified or have they changed? Um, well, I like adolescents. I've just dealt with them inpatient. I definitely would like to continue, but I also like the whole spectrum. Um, I've done adolescents continuously for the last 2 years, and I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy working with the kiddos, but I think I also like to be in the other units where it's adult and kind of get that feeling of the acute psychosis, and it's definitely an adrenaline rush, but adolescence is definitely something that I enjoy. I don't feel afraid to do it. I've enjoyed being a floor psych nurse and understand um, the aspects of it, and when you're prescribing and the family dynamics. I would love to continue to work with adolescents, definitely. Discuss any concerns you have regarding the specific clinical course and working with the lifespan population for psychiatric mental health care. Okay. I don't have any questions. Um, I guess in regards to this population, what really irks me is an inpatient, and I've said it 20 million times because it just really it bothers me, is I feel that this group needs needs a lot more support in a level 1 in regards to acuity. Being a floor nurse, right? So as a provider, if I hear the nursing staff saying, "Hey, this group is high acuity because they're planning to AWOL, they're planning to hang, or they're planning to suffocate." It's like advocating, hopefully, with admin, and I get it, it's money out of their pockets, but saying, "Hey, this isn't safe. What can I do as a provider to help?" Right? Besides, like getting phone calls about I, this patient is acting out, they're a harm to others, we have them in a physical hold, I can't, I don't have staff, and you're calling to get another IM. Like, there's got to be a better way. Um, what would be other than textbook, oh, provide one-to-one and de-escalation and distraction? Well, that all would be great if there were staff, but there just isn't, well, where I work, there isn't. And so the treatment that these kids get are IMs. They call it booty juice and they look for it. They really want the booty juice. So how do we work with this type of behavior, I guess? Identify personal and academic professional goals for the clinical course as you wrap up your PMHNP program. So academic goals are to continue to finish strong. I have been a 4.0. I've ended my classes 95, 96, 99. So I want to continue that part. It's a personal goal of mine that I feel like not only am I achieving the grade, but I feel accomplished. Working, having a 2-year-old, a 13-year-old, a husband, sometimes having 2 jobs and school and clinicals, that's an accomplishment. It's been a dark 2 years, but we're at the finish line. Are there any specific goals you have for this course? So I'm reading a book for the second time called The Boy That Was Raised by Dogs, I believe. And reminding myself about trauma-based care. Reminding myself that a diagnosis is an accumulative of symptoms, but really understanding the patient and where they're coming from and their behaviors. Never losing that part as a psych nurse. That book, I love it. It reminds me to take a deep breath and reflect, definitely. So my goals for this course would be to remember that a behavior comes from somewhere, and be humble to that. And what strengths or weaknesses have you identified through the program that can be remedied in this final clinical course? Weakness, strengths. So strengths, I research a lot. Hippocrates has been one of my favorite to-goes up to date. I plan to continue to subscribe to that should I not have that with my employer. Weaknesses would be throughout the program. Well, weaknesses. I guess I would say learning those billing codes would be something interesting. What's interesting is I used to do HCC education on the medical part as a nurse. And they were paying us to study to become certified coders. And it was self-taught. They didn't send us to school or anything, and they were to take the exam. I actually failed it by like 10 points, which, just disappointing. But that is something that I'm noticing is a huge part in being a provider, regarding payment, regarding being ethical in your submission of billing, business-wise. And so I am really looking into, when I finish, God willing, the course, the class, and I get my BC behind that name of mine, I am really contemplating on taking some medical coding classes, and kind of refreshing and trying to sit for that again. That is definitely a huge piece that's not really touched on here, so that would be great to know. So yeah, let's finish strong.